Okay, so Anna Petrarca from Aligning Minds. Today I'm going to be presenting. Now I'm going to share a little bit about myself, Aligning Minds, and a bit of a case study and a few tips and things along the way. Ask some questions. I probably won't stop too long because I think I'm going to go a little bit longer than what Jim did. So we'll think we have the time, so we'll see how we go. So today my intention is really just to serve you guys, the community. So I'm going down that path. So I hope you do get something out of it. So let's move on. So I've got a few photos. I could have added hundreds, but a little bit about me. Just like you, there are many layers to me. So within business, within relationships, family, and also interests. And there's just a few. And as you can see, family plays a big role. I have my husband, my girls, my parents, and I could have had 1,000 more, and some different things that I like doing. I've added a few words, but there's so much more to me. But my greatest influences were my parents, who really instilled in me a respect for myself and for others, and were really, education was a huge thing for them, and family. And family is something that I bring through today that is really important to me in my business, in my personal life, in my business, and it's a community. So as my parents would always say, you've got to look after each other. So I always like to ensure that I'm looking after the people within my community. So here are some of my credentials, and I continue to be a lifelong learner. So why Aligning Minds? So Aligning Minds came to be as a result of my own personal challenges. And it wasn't until about 2011, and along the way I've done many things, but 2011 where I was actually confronted with my challenges. Now, that led me to doing some more exploring, some more learning, going out and, just digging deep within myself. So I went and had mentors, coaches, did further studies, and I had to learn that I had to work on myself first. So looking at my perception, the meaning that I gave things actually were real to me, that actually occurred, but I could choose to change the way my perspective from them, and so much more. So if you fast forward 2016, Aligning Minds was born. And of course, Aligning Minds is all about supporting and helping others, and my journey of teaching children and education. Everything I do is in order to support and help others, whether it's in the mental health arena with Jim, with my clients, with teaching and learning, so whether it's coaching, mentoring, and so on. So for all of us, over time, we have lots of experiences, and our experiences create our beliefs and form our values. And we really take whatever goes on in our life, we pretty much take them in, and we delete, distort, and generalize the situation. And they form our beliefs and our values. And all of us wear them like a badge of honor. So if you think of Chinese whispers, when you have that voice in your head and you keep playing that same record, for a long time, by the end of it, it changes. And little do people know that a lot of it is not true. About 50% may not be true. If I think of my siblings, and we've had the same experience, but of course we've taken it on board differently. We've come back a number of years later, and this has actually happened, and we all recall it differently. We could argue about it, but it's just where we've come from, the way we've taken it on board. So it's not right or wrong, it just is. And those internal voices can create issues if they go down the wrong path. So Aligning Mind works with the unconscious mind, so we have to work within rather than out first, because the internal creates our external. So to me, that's a really important key, because all of us want to go strategy first. And yes, that may work some of the time, but if it's not working, that's why people come to me. We need to find another way. And of course, you do need to take the actions out as well. So I want to give you a little bit about, I'll just take one client because I know it's going to go for a while. Okay, so one of my clients, that's come to me as we entered COVID, wanted to create change and had a lot of fears. Quite an accomplished person, So you think that, you know, that this person doesn't have fears, but you can be strong, you can be successful, but you still carry things around as well. You're only human. So there were a number of things we worked on that was stopping her from moving forward. So some were her beliefs and her values, and so much more. We had to dig deep. What she managed to do, she managed to create a little bit of certainty in that very first session, grab some courage, and make a phone call within this session. I challenged her to do that because I felt that she could. And I go according to the client. Is this too soon? Do we need some more time? And she made that phone call that she was afraid to, and that gave her some evidence that everything was possible. And she's gone on to do so much more. So to create change requires a different thinking. And as you notice, that's where I'm going today, because it is about our mind and our mental health. So we need to come from a different point of thinking rather than where we've been. So wherever you want to go, you need to step up and look at it from a different perspective, put simply. Oops, sorry guys. Okay, so COVID has been the big talk of town, of course. We've all been in it. So I want you to think about, and you can write this down, jot some thoughts. I'm not going to stay on it. I'm happy to send you some questions that I go through, because I want this for you to get something from it. So where were you pre-COVID? Have a little bit of think. So I know that my family, everything was flowing around quite nicely, you know, for us. And so have a think, what was going on for you in your business, in your behaviours, in your life? You know, maybe there were some challenges, maybe everything was fine. You know, wherever you were, things may have magnified, because that's what COVID has done. It has magnified things for people. So if you suffered from a bit of stress, a bit of mental health, we all suffer from stress, don't get me wrong, in some form. And a little bit of stress can be quite good for us all, because it can actually push us over the line. But when we are constantly dealing with stress, when it is taking over our thoughts, and that record that's being played in our head, not necessarily helping us, not serving us, it can actually change our brainwaves and it becomes who we are being. So to put an extreme, if you know a person who you think, oh, gee, that person's always stressed, you know, think about how some people internalize it, but some people you can visually see certain things. So things can be changed, but that is just an example of mental health does not discriminate. We've all experienced some form, but also some people may have been in a good place before and maybe in a great place now. So where are you now? Think of where you are now. Can I just go a little bit longer? We have time.
Yeah, just letting you know.
I've got quite a bit to go, and I'm still, actually, no, I'm not too far, actually. Okay, so I thought, yeah, perfect. So think of where you are now. So for my family, just jot down some thoughts, but remember, just write down the first thing that comes to mind, because that's usually the right one for you. My family, we experienced lots of different things. So I thought we were quite blessed, but within the network, within my, you know, immediate family and extended family, I know my daughter went on a roller coaster. Her life was turned upside down. We had health issues within the family. We also had people who were doing quite well, moved forward. You know, we were working, we had income, you know, so, and now we continue to move forward. And my daughter's come across the line, you know, it was actually a good thing for her, COVID. But we've also all created some behaviours. Maybe look at them as habits, or maybe there are some thought patterns that have been compounded. So what are the thoughts or behaviours that you have that are not serving you, that may have been created? I mean, and a lot of people put on a little bit of weight, and that's okay. So that might be an example. Or maybe your mind has gone to that negative part with certain things in your life. It's made you question, you know, whether it's, you know, what's going on in your team, your business. Maybe you want change, maybe your passion. So look at the emotions that keep you anchored to, whether it's the positive or if it's the negative. Think about what thoughts or behaviours do you want to demonstrate? Do you want to keep? Do you want to continue? Or do you want to start? And they're the ones you want to continue. So it's practice in doing and listening to your mind and what you're saying and changing them. So daily. Okay, I'm going to keep going. All right. All right, so where am I? Okay, COVID, I'm going to continue on this path. So all of us, we're all human, and we all require a degree of certainty in our lives. No matter who you are, no matter what you're doing, where you live, we all need a degree of certainty so that we can say, right, that's taken care of and I can move on to other things. Unfortunately, COVID created a bit of, stress for everyone. Some people moved along nicely because they're quite positive people, regardless of what happened, and saw it as, oh, that's okay, I'm going to get through this. But the uncertainty was there regardless. Are we going in lockdown? Is my business going to get back on path? My finances, we're struggling. Can I put food on the table? It's different for everyone, but certainly a degree of uncertainty. So what do you feel? I want you to think about uncertain of that challenges you here today. We don't know where COVID is going, and we are going into a new normal. We are in it right now. No one can say when that final siren of COVID is going, but there's certainly change and things that you can create. So think about that challenge that is front of mind. That creates a lot of uncertainty for you. And what can you be certain of that supports and serves you? And as you're writing, I'm going to keep talking. Remember the first things that come to mind. There is no sharing. Everything is always confidential, but it's for you to have a think about. Now, we can all be certain, and you may or may not agree with me, that you can handle whatever is thrown at you. If you think of a time, and we've all had them, that something's been thrown at you, there's been a challenge, unexpected, and in that moment you think, what the hell? Sorry, my words. How am I going to handle this? What am I going to do? But if you think back to a time when there's been a challenge thrown at you and you've handled it, you think about, you got through it. It may have been taken a bit of time. There may have been some fear. It may have been a little bit of a roller coaster, but you got through it, and you more than got through it. Think about, who were you being? What was going through your mind? And what actions did you take? So who were you being? What things were going through your mind? What were you saying to yourself? And what actions, or what did you do about it? That's your evidence that you can handle moving forward. And we've got so much opportunity in moving forward right now. I'll keep going. Sorry, guys, I am behind. And a few more things just to help yourself daily. And you can choose one of them, and you might be doing one of them. It's all about consistency and practice, and then reaching out for help, because we could all do everything ourselves. I'd be out of a job. Okay, so a few things to support yourself. Number one, I always mention the breath. So stopping every morning. I like to be a bit quiet. I like to meditate. But, if the breath is the great one, whether it's, doing it in the morning, stopping and really slowing it down, getting yourself set for the day. Having a stretch, doing some movement, or going for a walk. So with your breath, you can also do it if you're feeling stressed. You can stop anywhere. I always say go to the bathroom if you're somewhere and just take a moment, or in the middle of the room, just pause and focus on your breath. But starting in the morning is a great way to do it. The same with stretching and moving. If you're feeling stressed, but starting your day with it realigns your body and gets you moving. And of course, being grateful, starting with something to be grateful for in the morning and ending your evening with something you're grateful for. Slowly, this will rewire your brain, and it's a start to getting you going, because you can't be feeling negative at the same time as when you've realigned and you've refocused and starting on that good foot in the morning. And I've put my details below, so if you would like some support and help, or if you know of anyone, as I said, this is a start, just something for you to take away, which is what my purpose was here today, because Aligning Minds is all about helping you navigate your path forward to what fills you up and what you're looking for, so that we can create some calm, clear the clutter, and create the clarity, and then put in some steps to move forward. So a quote from Simon Sinek: our struggles are our short-term steps we must take on our way to long-term success. So COVID may seem like a challenge, and there has been challenges, but there's so many positive things to come. So we need to open our eyes to it. And sometimes we can't see it because we have things in our way, in our mind. So reach out. Everything is confidential with Aligning Minds. And if you want to have a chat and want to just do a bit of a debrief and give you a couple of pointers, please, I'm here to help. So I'll leave it there. Thank you so much, everyone.